Y'all, what's going on? So I finally am back home. Thank God. I'm finally back home and I drove home yesterday. I've been gone for almost a damn month, but I'm finally home. Got my bearings. I was knocked out yesterday, okay? I was knocked out cold and I actually got some really good sleep last night. So yeah, I just want to give you guys some updates on, how my life is flipped upside down. I'm going through a bad season, but I know I'm going to have millions of dollars in my account because that's how getting a streak of bad luck works. You go through years of bad luck and then suddenly you become a billionaire. And I just know that's gonna be me. So it is what it is. But anywho, while I'm going through this storm right now, I'm having my Job moment, okay? I'm having my Job moment out the Bible. It's been going on for about 4 years now. I got married, in 2021, 2022? And it's 2026. So yeah, I've been in this cycle of a storm for about 4 years. So I'm estimating I got about a couple more years to go because that'll be 7 years. And I think seven is a good number to get out of a storm. Hopefully it's tomorrow, but I know it's not because once you get out of a storm, then you got that lag period of grieving and being upset and hurt. And then eventually you see brighter days again. So I'm not quite out the storm, but I know that it's inevitable that I'm going to get out of it and I'm going to be better in the end of all this. So, anyways, my dad is in hospice. Well, he's going to be starting hospice. My dad is going to be starting hospice next week. And it's not, my dad isn't bedridden or on his deathbed, but because his dementia has progressed so much, they recommend he's on hospice. Or, obviously he may outlast hospice. He may, you know, um, get to a point where they like, okay, he doesn't need this. Um, but his disease, you just never know where it's gonna go because he has days where, like I said, the average person, if they were to look at my dad, they would think he's fine, right? It's up until he starts talking and you start asking him questions, that's when it's noticeable. Like some people are noticeably disabled. My dad, it looks fine up until you talk to him. That's what's so messed up. That's why people be like, "Oh, he not no," because he still has a very positive energy. He still has a good, posture. He stands, but it's like when he talks, that's when you see, okay, there's confusion or, like I had his caregiver come in today. I told her to go to Dairy Queen and get him some I told her to go get him some chili dogs and a donut. She comes in and sits it down. Like she sits the bag down in front of him and stuff. And I noticed, because I'm watching through the camera, I'm noticing that he didn't touch it. And I had texted her, I said, with my dad, you have to take the food out the bag and, kind of show him the food. My dad needs prompting, right? It's not going to click to him that this is a bag with food. No, you got to take it out and put it up close to him and maybe help him put it in his hand. Then he'll eat. Kind of like with brushing his teeth. He knows how to brush his teeth, but his brain can't compute anymore how to get the process started. So a normal person, when they brush their teeth, they pick up the toothbrush, put the toothpaste on, and brush. With him, you can say, okay, we're going to brush your teeth, and he'll just look confused. So you have to get the toothbrush, put the toothpaste on, and hand him the toothbrush and kind of guide it to his mouth, and then he'll start brushing. So he doesn't know how to like follow commands or directions. He needs to be guided, right? Like if I point to a chair and I say, okay, dad, sit down, sit right here. He'll look confused for a while, and then he'll be like, okay, what do I do? I'll be like, okay, sit here, sit here. And then eventually he'll eventually sit down. So he doesn't know how to follow directions, or it's such a horrible, when I tell you this is the most horrible disease. Lewy body dementia is the most horrible dementia I have ever seen in my life. Okay? Because it takes every ounce of you away, and it just breaks you down from one function to the next. I think his girlfriend said years ago, he mentioned how he forgot, he felt like he didn't know how to count money. So it just slowly takes away different functions that you knew how to do. Like, he knew how to count money. Now he doesn't. He knew how to use the remote just a month or two ago. Now he doesn't know how to use the remote. He knew how to take food out of a bag and eat it. Now it's like, so that's why it's so weird, because each day something different may just be off. It's like a slow breakdown of every little function you had. So with Lewy body dementia, they said it progresses in a way where eventually he's going to get to a point where his brain may not know how to eat anymore. Like, he'll lose the ability to swallow. He's going to eventually lose his ability to walk. He's going to lose his ability to talk. That's what's going to happen to my dad. And if he actually lives this entire thing out to its entirety, he's going to eventually stop knowing how to walk, because his brain is not going to know how to tell his legs to move. Like, it's so bad. So right now he still knows how to walk and verbalize what he can, but yeah, it's just slowly getting worse. He hallucinates too. He sees things um at randoms. But he's had a good few days so far. Like, I what's so crazy is sometimes I talk to him and he sounds perfectly fine. Like, I called him on the camera yesterday and I was like, hey, he was like, hey. I said, how you feeling? He was like, oh, I'm feeling good. And then I start talking to him about different foods like donuts. He's like, yeah, man, that sounds good. Then other days I may call and say, hey, and he'd be like, hey. And I'll be like, what you doing? And he'll start rambling about something else, or he's like, what you say? Like, he can't make out what I'm saying. So it's weird. It's weird. So he's going to go on hospice. I think he's going to outlive hospice. Like, I don't think he's just going to die in the next 6 months, but this is just a precaution. It's like a precaution to, just to make sure he has a peaceful, because he's on DNR. Like, I got him on do not resuscitate. Like, after he just got hospitalized this last time, and just realizing how many of his functions that he keeps losing, I just decided to have him on do not resuscitate. Because if he was to fall sick, his recovery, he's never going to be back to a function that is reasonable. It's just going to keep getting worse. So I have him on do not resuscitate. So yeah, he's on hospice now, and you know, hopefully he continues to have a decent quality of life while he's still alive. But, like I said, based on what I've seen with this disease, it seems like if not every month, every year, something has gotten worse. So like I said, in the next coming months, he may just very well not know how to walk anymore, lose his ability to talk, or forget who I am completely. It's just, you just never know. So that's where we are right now. Like I said, he's not on his deathbed. He's still eating. He's still using the bathroom. He's still, but it's just so quickly how those things can just go. I think if my dad was a little bit younger, things would be, I mean, older, he probably wouldn't be alive, but because he is still kind of young, he still has some strength left, but that's where we are now. So, oh well, I don't know what else to do. I think I think I'm, at this point of kind of accepting things, especially after this last visit. It's something about this last visit and putting him on do not resuscitate that kind of woke me up to what's going on. Like, I'm accepting my dad's diagnosis. I'm accepting that he's going to get worse. I'm accepting that there's no cure. I'm accepting that there's going to be good days and bad days. I'm accepting his reality. I think when you realize your parent is first sick, you're in a state of shock and you're in a state of denial. You're actually in this space of believing that they're going to get better. And it may take you several months to realize this person is not going to get better. You may spend times where you're mad at the nurses, the doctors. You're thinking they're not doing all they could and why this and why that. And you're something in your mind keeps forgetting that they're dying. This is not a disease that has a cure or is ever going to get better. And I think once that finally resonates with you as a caregiver or whoever, you'll stop nitpicking every little thing. See, if you're still in a mental space of nitpicking every little thing about what's going on with your dementia parent or whoever, it's because you haven't accepted the fact that they are on a gradual decline. You're so used to seeing them one way. You're so used to them being a functional person. You're used to them having their mind together. You're used to them dressing a certain way. You're used to them caring about their appearance. You're used to this. So when they get in these nursing homes or whatever, it's hard for you to understand that that stuff doesn't matter to them anymore. Like it matters to you because that's how you're used to seeing them. But to them, a day is no longer a day. An hour is no longer an hour. They don't have track of time anymore. They don't have a good grip on reality anymore. And it's a mismatch when it comes to what you're believing versus what they believe. Like, I was listening to my dad on the camera the other day talking to his caregiver, and he flat out told her he was 91 years old, and he said it with conviction. He was like, yeah, I'm 91. And then he was bringing up his sister, but his sister died years ago. He's asking questions about a sister that died. Just like last year, he was saying that he was seeing his brother. He saw his brother, but his brother had died too. So at this point, they're in between realities. They're in our world and they're in the afterlife. They're not even in the right world anymore. And it's like it takes a minute to understand that they're in a constant state of in and out. They're in they're in this world, and some moments they're not in this world anymore. They're in another world. They're seeing things and seeing people that passed away, and they seeing stuff that you can't see. So the stuff that used to matter to them or you, it doesn't matter. And so I guess I'm just at this point where it's just like I'm ready for whatever. I mean, I'm not ready. No one's ever ready for death, but I think my mind is finally making peace with this is where this is going. It's kind of like finally understanding that someone has final stage cancer and you just know they're going to pass away, and you just finally have to come to grips with that. You just finally have to come to grips with this person is dying. And it's really nothing I can do. And I don't want to stress myself out anymore about it. I'm not about to keep stressing the nurses. It is what it is. I just want his final moments to be good moments, good memories, hanging out, eating the food he likes, smiling, singing, dancing. Everything else is no longer a thing because he's no longer in the same world I'm in. Like, with these people with dementia, they're not living in our world anymore. They're in another world. They're in between realms. The stuff you're arguing with the nurses and other people about, they don't care about. The house you're arguing about, they don't care about anymore. The belongings you're arguing with people about that they had, they don't care about it. They don't care about none of this stuff no more on this world, on this earth plane. So it's so many families that go back and forth during times like this. They be arguing about the house, the bills. They be arguing about the furniture and the pictures. The person that you're fighting over does not even care anymore. They don't even remember they had a house. Like, when they go into memory care, they get to a point they don't, like, ever since my dad checked into a nursing home last year, I kid you not. Last year, when he first got checked into a nursing home last year, and they were doing activities, my dad was dancing to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. It's almost like he had a complete unawareness that he was even in a nursing home. He was just dancing and singing, and just a week ago, he don't even realize his life just got totally changed. He was taken out of his house, put in the hospital, put on medication, then transferred to a nursing home. And here it is, he's dancing and singing to Michael Jackson. Not even realize that he got a whole house. He had money in his house. He got a whole building that he owns. He forgot about it all. And since then, I don't think he has mentioned his house since he got into a nursing home. I don't think he has mentioned, how's my house? How's this? He has not mentioned it. I think he forgot he has a house. The only thing he kept bringing up is wanting a car. Like, he wants a car, but as far as his house, his building, and all that, he like completely forgot about it. He actually punched the guy. He punched the guy at his first nursing home because he said he kept coming in my house. Like, he started thinking that the nursing home room that he was in was his house after a couple of weeks. He I think another lady had walked in his room and he said, "Get out of my house." So that's how gone they are in the mind, man. Like, that's how gone they are. It's like it's like crazy to see it. Like, this man went from his own house to in his own building to now claiming that a nursing home room is his house after only a couple of weeks, and not even asking about his house. Not even asking. And then I was with my dad a couple of weeks ago, and I was, sitting next to him, and it just made me so sad seeing him the way he was, and I started crying, right? And the normal human function is when you see somebody crying, you're gonna say, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" No, it's like my dad just was looking right through me. It's like he no longer has the ability to connect with the fact that I'm even crying. He started randomly talking about seeing something across the room. Like, "You see that right there?" And I'm crying. Like, it just did not register. He could not connect with me on a human level and even just say, "It's going to be okay. Are you okay? Everything is fine." No, he does not connect to those emotions anymore. Okay. He does. It's like a zombie. It's like, they don't connect after a while. They don't connect to your emotions. They don't connect to uh and it's just a horrible disease, man. It's a horrible disease. But anyway, that's why I wanted to say, yeah, my dad's on hospice. So yeah.